Yeah, fireworks expected at the National Stadium in Kingston this evening when the semi-finals and finals of the men's and women's 100 metres will be contested at Jamaica's Track and Field Championship. Ricardo Chambers watched Thursday's opening night of action.
Championships producing some eye-popping performances in the sprints, led of course by the Mommy Rocket, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the fastest woman in the world this year, giving the clearest indication that she's here to run only one round of the women's 100 meters, leading qualifying with 10.70 seconds, following up on her two 10.67 performances this season.
Fraser-Pryce getting out alongside Shakoria Wallace in 3 and Brianna Williams in lane 5. The 35-year-old picture perfect, crossing the line in 10.70 seconds. Williams finished second in a season's best, equaling 10.98. Kemba Nelson 10.98 as well, and Sharika Jackson 10.99, also dipped under 11 seconds. The double Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Hero was also comfortable, winning her heat in 11.06.
There were some exciting performances in the men's 100 meters as well, led by Yohan Blake, the 2011 world champion, storming to 9.93 seconds in the opening round. Oblique Seville was so comfortable with his first round effort of 9.98.
But quite possibly the biggest surprise for the fans was the performance of 19-year-old Conroy Jones. The former St. Elizabeth technical athlete was drawn alongside one of the pre-meet favourites, and nervous-looking Yohan Blake. Blake recovered from a terrible start, still clocking a fast 10.01, with Jones winning in a personal best 10 seconds flat, improving on the 10.14 he did on May 21. Oblique Seville had set the house on fire with an easy 9.98 clocking in the first heat. Yohan Blake responded with a 9.93 stroll in the second. Before Thursday night, only 3 Jamaican men had gone faster than 10.14 this season. 10 of them bettered that last night. Yohan and Seville, the only 2 going under 10 seconds. Jones and Yohan Blake at 10 flat and 10.01 respectively. O'Shane Bailey improved a 12-year personal best from 10.11 to 10.03. 2014 Commonwealth Games champion Kemar Bailey Cole showing a long-awaited return to form with a 10.06 clocking. Jelani Walker 10.07, Nigel Ellis 10.10, and Ellis's MVP teammates Michael Campbell and reigning world long jump champion Tajay Gale, who both ran 10.13 seconds. There was a massive shock in the field. The number 3 performer in the world this year with 1.97 meters, NCAA champion indoors and out, and the defending champion Lamara Distin suffered a rare defeat this season. In fact, she had a rare poor display, clearing only 1.85 meters to finish in second position.
Very disappointed. I just feel like it's one of those days. I was having issues with my approach. So I feel like if I just go back in practice and just try to get it right, then I will come back out here and do something great.
Kimberly Williamson, who got over 1.88, was crowned national champion for the 7th time.
I wanted to get 1.96 here today, but that didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. But I am grateful I came out with the win.
Exciting day number 1 of the Jamaican Track and Field Championships for 2022. The action on day number 2 is also expected to be exciting and will culminate with the finals of the men's and women's 100 meters. The men's 100 final scheduled for 8:35 Jamaica time, that's 9:35 Eastern Caribbean time, followed by the women's final set for 8:40 Jamaica time, that is 9:40 Eastern Caribbean time. Reporting from the National Senior and Junior Championships in Kingston, Jamaica, Ricardo Chambers for the SportsMax Zone.
Yeah, Ricardo with some exciting action there, George, from the National Stadium on Thursday night. And we're going to join him now to talk about, in a more analytical way, what we saw happening last night. Ricardo, I want to talk quickly about Conroy Jones, but before we get there, Shelly-Ann, we know she, as a defending champion at the World Championship, has a wild card, so she doesn't have to compete in these 100-meter races. Is there anything definitive about her doing semis tonight and going all the way?
Well, her camp plans has been very tight-lipped as to exactly what she will do at these championships, but I thought
by virtue of how she ran the opening round last night, it was very clear that there is no intention of coming back for the semi-finals today. I personally would be extremely surprised having run as hard as she did. Remember, she's coming from Paris, France on the weekend where she ran 10:67. You think about the travel. Of course, she would have had a couple of days to rest. She is likely to run the 200 meters. She is entered for that. So it is important. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is unlikely that she is going to turn up and run the 100 semifinals tonight. But no, Lance, nothing definitive just yet as to whether she will actually turn up in a couple of hours.
Okay, so if she doesn't run and we look ahead to the final, of course, the Olympic champion, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and Shericka Jackson, the bronze medalist in Tokyo last year, would be considered the big two, leaving a spot for one other athlete if it goes to form. Kemba Nelson and Brianna Williams look best placed at the moment to challenge for that third spot that would be available. Is that how you're looking at it?
Well, I was extremely impressed with Shericka Jackson in qualifying last night. I thought she probably looked the best of all the athletes, came through in 10:99, just behind Kemba Nelson. I think she has a genuine shot here at the Nationals of beating Elaine Thompson-Herah, the double Olympic champion. Remember that she did finish ahead of Thompson-Herah at the Nationals last year. So let's see what she'll be able to do. As far as for that third spot is concerned, yes, definitely Kemba Nelson looked composed in qualifying last night, 10:98. Coming off a silver medal performance at the NCAA championships as well. I saw her post on social media that she thought that was a 10-8 type of a performance. So we'll see if she'll be able to deliver that here. But that's going to be a tight battle between herself and Brianna Williams, I think, for that third spot, which of course would end up giving Jamaica 4 athletes in the women's 100 meters at the World Championships. Outside of that, to be quite honest, I can't see anyone who would break up that top 4 pairing. There's Natasha Morrison, who had a season's best 11:10. We know she's a 10:87 performer at her very best, but it's going to take something special from her or anyone else, I think, to break up that top 4.
Ricardo, the question then is, why the suspense around whether Shelley and Fraser-Pryce will or won't report for the later rounds of this 100 meters?
You know, for the entire season, Lance, she's kept her cards close to her chest in relation to what she's doing. She had originally said that, listen, I will be contesting the double, both the 100 and the 200 meters. My eyebrows were certainly raised when I saw her on the start list for that Paris meet, because I thought, so close to the national championships, it's unlikely, at least in my estimation, I don't think it would be the wisest thing to do to have her compete in Paris on the weekend. She ran fast there, 10:67. If she did complete the 100 here, she would be running 3 races for 100 in 2 days, and then possibly another 2 or 3 over 2 days for the 200 meters. So you're looking at 5 or 6 races. And remember, this is also quite likely the shortest period ever, at least from what I can recall, between a national championship and a global championship. The World Championship starts on the 15th of July. I'm not sure I can answer your question directly, George, as it relates to why they are keeping their cards so close to their chest. But it's that type of game. You get it sometimes in this thing called sports, and definitely in track and field, where athletes just don't want to let anything go. There are times when even slight injuries they don't want their opponents to know about, and maybe it's just about keeping everyone guessing.
Yeah, the Yohan Blake point now, Ricardo. I almost said Chapo there. That's his nickname here at SportsMax. So, Ricardo. Yeah, Ricardo, the Yohan Blake, 9:93. Describe what you saw.
Well, I saw a Yohan Blake who is better this year than I think he's been in the last 3 or 4 years. That 9:93 was the fastest time he's run since 2017. But it also doesn't surprise me. There was a second place finish he had a few weeks ago where he ran 10.05. That was into a minus 1.2 meters per second wind. And I saw the signs definitely from that meet that Yohan was in great form. Now, we all know that Yohan usually says a lot year after year. He promises great performances. He doesn't always deliver. In fact, personally, I think that's something he should do a lot less of. But he's consistently said that he feels he's getting back somewhere close to his best form this season. And I think that's exactly what we saw last night. A man who is definitely better this year than he has been in the last 5 years. And it's strange as well, because I think that he probably had a rather slow start to the 2022 season. And I'm a big fan of Yohan Blake, but for a second, I might have written him off until I saw that 10.05 into the minus 1.2 meters per second win. And then I thought, no, there's definitely something going on. And just wider context, because that entire group, which Michael Frater is a part of as coach and Gregory Litter, Titans International, they have Yohan Blake, they have Akeem Blake, Kamar Bailey-Cole, who is rounding into form at 10.06, and there's Jazeel Murphy, who has had a decent year and ran 10.18 and will be in the men's 100 semifinals tonight as well.
Yeah, the last thing on Yohan Blake before we get to the man of the moment, Ricardo. From the eye test perspective, did anything look different about Yohan in the way he went about his task last night compared to the previous times you would have seen him, say, over the past year?
Well, I think what stood out for me last night more than anything else was the last 30, how relaxed he was. I think we've spoken about how he tightens up significantly in the last 30 meters of the race. And maybe it is that because it was a first round, he was able to do that. But I also think it's something he's been working on, just being able to relax more in that last 30 meters. I think for Yohan Blake, especially the last few years, would have been difficult for him because for the most part, and from all the reports, he's been training well, but just been unable to deliver those performances in competition. And just maybe they have now found the formula. And I think a large part of that going forward, and from what we've seen so far in terms of the improvements, has been and will be his ability to stay relaxed and composed in that last 30 meters of the race and not tighten up when there is significant pressure.
Ricardo, the young man who seems to be in a hurry, Oblique Seville, his performance in that opening round heat.
Yeah, easy. As expected, his coach did say that he was in 9.6 form or better. Now, if you're in 9.6 form, then 9.98 is going to look easy, and that's exactly what it was last night. No surprise there. Again, the semifinals will be tough. He will have to run. He likely will go faster based on the form that he's in. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens later on. But yeah, he is a talent. He is a talent. For me, he's naturally fast, and that sets him apart from the rest of the field here, Oblique Seville. But yeah, real comfortable opening round performance last night. Look at him there, looking around a couple of times as well. Yeah, efficient performance. Yeah. That's what you want to see in an opening round.
Ricardo, for those who don't know him very well, and most people would know him just by seeing him on the TV in his champs days at Calabar and now, temperamentally, what kind of person is Oblique Seville?
Yeah, easygoing. So he started his high school career, by the way, at Homewood Technical. Spent 2 seasons at Calabar, one of which he didn't compete at champs. The one season he did compete for Calabar at champs. He won the 100 meters, ran 10.13 seconds. Now, one of the things I think we have to remember is that that was a real high-pressure situation. And for a young man who had come across from Homewood Technical as like a 10.7 100 sprinter, to be thrown in that high-pressure situation and deliver, I thought was impressive. He won the Carifta title that year as well. Another solid performance. Following that, he did have the Pan Am Juniors where he lost to Matthew Bowling of the USA. But that defeat was not because he buckled under any pressure. It was because he was beaten on the day by a better athlete. I think he's a supremely confident young man, George. And I have actually no concerns about his ability to handle big moments and to handle the pressure. Of course, the national championships will be, I think, his biggest moment yet. And yes, he has gone to the Olympic Games, but he's never been in a position at this level where he is the heavy favorite and everyone is coming to see him. So even in high school when he was favorite or one of the favorites at Champs, yeah, the point is he was a co-favorite then and so would have been able to share the burden. This is probably the first time where he doesn't get the opportunity to share the burden. But having said that, I have absolutely no concerns that this is a young man who is more than capable of handling the biggest moments, and those, I think, start tonight.
Yeah, all right, we've got to leave it here, Ricardo, but in 15 seconds, can you say something about Conroy Jones? Massive personal best last night, 10-0-0. Did he run his race in the heats, or do you expect more of him?
30 seconds, please. Thank you very much. But Conroy Jones has been in the shadows of one Sachin Dennis at St. Elizabeth Technical for a long time. He's come through the system with Dennis. He's been involved in every single relay team for St. Elizabeth Technical with Dennis. They've won several Champs Gold medals. He has a NACA Under-18 medal. He has a Champs Bronze medal. But for some reason, people have never really seen him. He started this season at 10:32. His first race, he ran 10:30. He came down to 10:14 in that same race that Oblique ran 9:86. But still, almost nobody saw him. Finally, last night, I think persons took notice because he is a supreme talent, and only Yohan Blake at 19 years old has run faster than Conroy Jones has now at 10 flat. As a Jamaican, that for me is super, super impressive. He's flown under the radar for a long, long time,
yes,
but I don't think he's going to be able to do that for much longer.
Okay, thanks, Ricardo. So I think we are saying, remember that name, Conroy Jones. As we go to break, here is the second question for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Jamaica Premier League semi-finals coming up on Sunday. Let's go. Where is Cavaliers goalkeeper Vina Bartlett from? All answers must be submitted with a question number and participant's name to the Zone WhatsApp number 876-564-7661.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay informed.